Today we're going to be mixing ice resin and using resin molds. We're also going to be using some dyes as well to color that resin. So first, assemble all your materials. You've got your ice resin, which comes in part A and part B. Also in this kit are handy little measuring cups. It's nice because they actually have measurements right on their side. And you're also provided with some little stir sticks as well. We have a wide selection of molds. We have little hearts, we have circles, we have rectangles. There's many more shapes, including eggs and triangles, bangle bracelets, all sorts of fun things you can play with. So what I did is I cleaned these molds. I went ahead and I washed them. I didn't use soap. I just went ahead and used some warm water, and then I dried them with a clean cloth. I didn't want to use a paper towel because I don't want any fibers getting into the mold, because whatever is in the mold when you pour the resin is going to stay in there. So you want to make sure that they're dust-free and properly cleaned. I also went ahead and I sprayed them with mold release. This is something we sell here at Beadaholique as well. And that's just going to help your resin to come out of the mold once it's fully cured. Just a couple squirts in each mold, holding the mold release about 10 inches away. And then I just let it dry. So we'll come back to those in just a moment, but first off, we're going to go ahead and mix our resin. It's 1 part to 1 part, so I'm going to start. I'm going to do a little bigger batch, so I'm using a bigger cup. We sell these cups here as well, and they have the measurements on them as well. I'm going to start with my part A, which is my actual resin. And I think for today's projects, I want about a total of 3 ounces. So I'm going to do 1.5 ounces of part A. And just pour it really slow. Now I'm going to add my part B, which is my hardener. And I'm going to go then right up to my 3-ounce line. What's nice about ice resin is you have a little time to play with it. So you're not having to work quite as quickly as some other resins. It's really important that your measurements are exact. So now I'm going to take my stir stick and I'm just going to start stirring it together. And I'm going to do this for 2 minutes. And now a little tip to help with the bubbles is we are just going to let it sit for about 5 minutes now. And I did forget to mention when we started that before we poured our resin, I did let the part A, which is the actual resin, warm up for about 40 minutes in a pan of warm tap water. You don't want it to be hot by any means, but you definitely want it to be warm. And that's going to help to reduce your bubbles as well. This is now set up for about 5 minutes, and so what I'm going to want to do is I want to do a couple different things today. I want to add some dye to it, actually a couple different colors, and then I also just want to have some clear as well. So I've taken separate little cups, and I'm going to add some of my mixture to these now. I don't have to be so exact on this one because it's already mixed together. Okay, I'm going to take 2 new clean stir sticks, and I'm going to add some color. I have CASTIN Craft transparent resin dye, so this is going to be for my green. And it's nice because they have a very small little hole at the top, and so you're just going to do 1 drop at a time. So I'm going to put that 1 drop in, stir it up. Okay, I kind of want it to be a little bit darker, so I'm going to put another drop in. Stir that up. Okay. Let's try one more drop, and then that's going to be about it. I don't really want to change the property of my resin mixture. So keep stirring that until all striations are gone. Otherwise it's going to have a mottled effect, which could be really cool, but for what I'm going to do, I don't really want that. Now I am going to try to make some pink. In a minute, I have some great little heart-shaped molds I want to use. Just as when you're mixing food coloring, remember a little goes a long ways, especially with colors like red. All right. First, I want to see what that's going to look like for me, and that is red. So I'm going to add some white to tame that down. Maybe 1 more little drop of white. Okay, now that those are all stirred, I also pulled out some little findings. I have a little charm, I have a little bead, I've got some filigree. I'm going to put those into my molds as soon as I pour them. So here are my various shaped molds. I want to do a couple that are just clear. So I'm going to very, very carefully pour just a little bit in. I'm going to go over here and do the same for some of my rectangles. It's going to spread out for you on its own. If you do have a piece where you really want to get into the corners, you can always take your stir stick and kind of help work it into the corners. Make sure you're always doing this on a flat surface, otherwise your resin is going to dry at an angle, which you, for obvious reasons, don't want. Now remember how your resin pieces are going to pop out of the mold, so what the underside is actually going to be the top. So instead of putting the flower down like this, I'm going to turn it upside down. You can use a pair of tweezers too, that might be a little bit easier. Just going to let him drop in there. I liked this ring, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. Again, just use my stick to move it around. Then I'm going to drop this down in there as well. Kind of ended up falling in there a little bit, but I can just move it around with my stick and let it to go down there. And now I am going to wait for these to dry for approximately 24 hours before I attempt my next layer on them. It's been 24 hours and we've let our resin cure in our resin molds, and it's hard to the touch now. And you can see we've added some different filigree pieces, brass stamping. This here is an image transfer. I actually used stamps on this one. Just a whole lot of different experimentation here. Just anything you want to put into the resin you can. Now I'm going to pour another layer of resin over the top of this hardened layer. I'm using the same ice resin that I used before. I'm just slowly filling my molds. Now if I wanted to do a third layer on any of these, I would not fill the mold to the top. It's been 3 days and we have our resin, which is now fully cured within our molds. And so now we need to remove the objects from the molds. We do this by just turning the mold over, taking our fingers, gently pressing at the mold, and popping out our pieces. And there you have a finished piece.